Warner Brothers and DC Comics has just cast Pierce Brosnan in the role as Dr. Fate in the upcoming Black Adam movie, but is this actually a good casting decision? Hey, you guys, if you want to find out how to get an email on the show, stick around to the end of this video and I'll tell you exactly how to do that. So, last night it was announced that James Bond himself, Pierce Brosnan, was cast in the upcoming Black Adam movie as Dr. Fate. I think this is fantastic. I think this is absolutely fantastic. Pierce Brosnan is not the actor that I would have initially thought to say, "Hey, let's cast him in the role of Dr. Fate." But I'm sorry, I think this makes perfect sense, especially being that we know that the Black Adam movie is going to start filming next month. They are rolling cameras in just a couple of weeks. Yeah, it's about time, first of all, that we find out who is going to be playing Dr. Fate. Let's look at the lineup here for a second. Let's look at the lineup. First of all, we all know that we have Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson playing Black Adam. That's been announced literally years ago. Then we have Aldous Hodge, my boy Aldous Hodge. I love this guy. He's not the most well-known actor on the planet, but you know, you saw him in One Night in Miami. We've seen him in The Invisible Man, like the reboot with Elizabeth Moss. He's a great actor, you know, playing Hawkman. I think he's gonna kill it. We have Quintessa Swindell, which admittedly I'm not all that familiar with. She's a bit of an unknown, but she is playing Cyclone, the daughter of the Red Tornado. We have Noah Centineo. Hope I'm saying that correctly. Playing Atom Smasher, who essentially is kind of a DC Comics version of Ant-Man. If you're not familiar with Atom Smasher or the Atom, he's essentially Ant-Man. There's differences, but, you know, think of it like that. We also have Sarah Shahai, who is playing Isis. A lot of this, it feels like a lot of the origins of this movie are coming from various Egyptian lore, Egyptian myth. Hawkman has some strong Egyptian ties. We know that Sarah Shahai has some Egyptian ties. And lastly, rounding out the cast is Pierce Brosnan playing Dr. Fate, who also has Dr. Fate having Egyptian ties himself. So I think therein we're getting a lot of insight as to what the story of the movie is going to be, where it's taking place, where a lot of these characters, like their origins, are coming from. Dr. Fate having very close, I can't remember the Egyptian god that gave Dr. Fate his powers, but there you go. There's an Egyptian god who gave Dr. Fate his powers. We have Aldous Hodge playing Hawkman, who Hawkman being an Egyptian explorer, or rather an explorer in Egypt, digging around looking for this, finding an amulet, blah blah blah, whatever. Speaking of amulets, you have Sarah Shahai playing Isis, who, I mean, she dons the amulet and essentially gets imbued with the powers of Isis, the Egyptian god herself. So there's a lot of Egyptian mythos here. I think it's going to be really interesting, really cool, and especially, like I said, Pierce Brosnan himself playing Dr. Fate. He's a great actor. Pierce Brosnan is fantastic. Even though Die Another Day is my most hated James Bond film of all time. It's a completely terrible movie. I dare say it's a garbage movie. Of all the James Bond films, I rank it as the worst. But it has nothing to do with Pierce Brosnan playing James Bond. Look at his interviews. Look at Pierce Brosnan's interviews on the I think it was on the 50th anniversary of James Bond. They interviewed like all the actors. Of course, Sean Connery declined. But when Pierce Brosnan was talking about his experiences playing James Bond, and he got around to Die Another Day, he read the script. He said, really? The opening sequence is that James Bond surfboards into North Korea. Like, it was just like, okay, this is ridiculous. Okay, cool. Buy the ticket, ride the ride, I guess. It's a terrible movie, but Pierce Brosnan as James Bond was terrific. I loved his charisma. I loved the way that he played it. And, not just James Bond. Look at Remington Steele. Super classy guy. Not a great movie, Mamma Mia. I mean, it's kind of debatable. Some people love it. Some people are like, meh. I'm a little bit more meh on it. Pierce Brosnan, a little meh. Mrs. Doubtfire, I mean, like, just list off his filmography. Pierce Brosnan is a fantastic actor. He's incredible to watch. And seeing him in this role as Dr. Fate. Now, if you're not familiar with Dr. Fate, just think of like a Doctor Strange type, but with a helmet. Instead of him learning the craft of magic and wizardry and all that, like Doctor Strange, he was imbued with these powers. Now, let's go over to Wikipedia for a second. I want to jump over to Wikipedia. Check this out, you guys. Dr. Fate has hold on, I should have had this already queued up. And there's so many different characters who have played Dr. Fate over the year. Now, when I say played Dr. Fate, I mean who have taken on the mantle. But let's look at his powers for a second. Dr. Fate possesses various powers due to Naboo's train. Naboo was the ancient Egyptian god who imbued him with power, such as spell casting, superhuman strength, obviously, invulnerability, telekinesis, telepathy, pyrokinesis, interesting, enlightening manipulation, teleportation, healing, force fields, ice manipulation, immateriality, and that means the ability to phase through things, and the ability to travel between parallel Earths. I also know that he possesses the ability to time travel as well. Can I just say, whoa? Like, whoa! He's one of the most powerful beings, and he's also a founding member of the Justice Society of America. If you're not familiar with the Justice Society of America, it was the precursor to the Justice League. So you have the JSA and then you have the JLA. Two different entities, but, all fighting essentially for the same purpose. Dr. Fate being a founding member of the JSA, we know that the JSA is going to be integral to the Black Adam movie itself, Black Adam being an anti-hero. Anyway, guys, like, there's so much about this to unpack, to tear apart. I think Pierce Brosnan is a wonderful addition to this cast. I think he obviously is going to be the elder statesman here. He's going to kind of be like the old dog teaching the young dog's new tricks kind of thing, and also is one of the most powerful beings in this world, in this movie, in this universe. I'm actually really excited to see Pierce Brosnan play this character in this movie, but also, hopefully, fingers crossed, see his character develop across further films. But what are your thoughts? Maybe you don't like Pierce Brosnan. Maybe you didn't like his era of James Bond films. What are your thoughts? Do you think he's good casting? Or are you just kind of like, ugh, gross, Pierce Brosnan, get out of here? What are your thoughts? Jump down to the comment section below and let me know what those are. All right, guys, if, as I promised earlier, if you want to send me an email, if you want to send me a question, a topic for the show, anything that you want to talk about, send me an email at gottalovethemmovies@gmail.com. And as long as it's family friendly, we'll put your comment or question as a main video here on the channel. So thank you so much for, let me just say, if you like this video, click like. If you really like this video, click subscribe. And if you really, really like this video, click share, because that, my friends, is exactly what Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate would want you to do. Guys, we live in a weird, crazy world where everybody has their own thoughts and opinions, and sometimes those thoughts and opinions clash. So if you have an opportunity to infuse a bit of kindness into the world today, or speak kind words to each other, please, I implore you, take those opportunities. As always, in the words of Bill and Ted, be excellent to each other. I'll see you guys tomorrow.